24-pin ATX. The 24-pin ATX cable is the main power cable for your motherboard. It runs from the PSU into the biggest connector on the board. It is wide, chunky, and usually sits on the right edge. When it is fully seated, you should feel a firm click. A loose 24-pin cable can make the whole PC look dead. No lights, no fans, no useful clue. So before blaming the CPU, RAM, or motherboard, check this cable first. Sometimes the scariest PC problem is just an unfinished click. 8-pin EPS CPU power. The 8-pin EPS cable powers the CPU. It usually plugs into the top left corner of the motherboard. This is a classic first-time builder trap. The 24-pin powers the board, but the CPU still needs its own cable. Forget it, and the PC may not boot at all. Fans might spin, lights might turn on, but nothing useful happens. EPS can look similar to PCIe 8-pin, but they are not the same. So do not plug in cables just because they almost fit. Almost fitting is how expensive mistakes start. SATA power. SATA power is the flat power cable for storage drives. It powers 2.5-inch SSDs, hard drives, and some accessories. You may also see it on fan hubs or RGB controllers. One SATA power cable can often connect to several devices in a chain. Useful, but easy to confuse with SATA data. SATA power gives the drive electricity. SATA data lets it talk to the motherboard. A drive usually needs both, unless it is M2. And yes, that confusion gets beginners all the time. Molex 4-pin. Molex is the old 4-pin power connector. It was everywhere in older PCs. Today, most modern builders barely touch it. You may still see it on cheap fans, pumps, adapters, or old accessories. It is larger, simpler, and sometimes annoying to plug in. That does not mean you should force it. Line it up carefully, then push evenly. For most new gaming PCs, Molex is no longer a main character. Still useful sometimes, just not something you should expect to use often. PCIe, power, plus 12-volt HPWR, or 12-volt 2x 616 pin. Now we get to the cable that deserves real attention. GPU power. This cable powers your graphics card. Many cards use PCIe 6-pin or 8-pin connectors. Some cables are 6 plus 2-pin, so they can work as either 6-pin or 8-pin. A stronger GPU may need 1, 2, or even 3 PCIe power connectors. That is normal. More performance usually means more power delivery. Newer high-end cards may use a 16-pin connector instead. This is called 12V HPWR, or the newer 12V 2x6 standard. The idea is simple. One compact cable replaces multiple larger GPU power cables. Clean on paper, less forgiving in real life. The dangerous part is plugging it in badly. If the 16-pin connector is not fully seated, it can create heat. That is why people talk about melted GPU connectors. So treat this cable differently. Push it in fully, look closely. Do not just trust the feeling. There should be no visible gap between the plug and the socket. If there is a latch, make sure it clicks. Also, do not sharply bend the cable right at the connector. Give it some space before the bend starts. This is probably the easiest cable to turn into an expensive mistake. Not because builders are stupid, because the connector is small, the power is high, and the tolerance is tight. So slow down here. Check it twice. Then check it again after cable management. The easy half of PSU cables is done. Now we move into the cables that make first-time builders want to quit. SATA data. SATA data is the thin cable that connects a drive to the motherboard. It does not power the drive. It only carries data. A 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive usually needs 2 cables. One SATA power cable from the PSU, one SATA data cable to the motherboard. One end goes into the drive, the other goes into a SATA port on the motherboard. If the drive has power but no data cable, the PC cannot see it. If it has data but no power, it still cannot work. Storage is simple only after you know both sides matter. M2 NVMe. Now here is the twist. The fastest storage in your PC may use no cable at all. An M2 NVMe SSD plugs directly into the motherboard. No SATA power, no SATA data. Just a tiny drive sitting flat in an M2 slot. That is why modern builds can look so clean inside. The drive talks to the motherboard through the slot itself. So if you are holding an NVMe SSD looking for a cable, stop. The cable is not missing. The motherboard is the connection. Front panel header, or F panel. Front panel cables are where confidence goes to die. They are tiny, annoying, and easy to underestimate. This cluster controls the case power button, reset button, and LEDs. On the motherboard, it is usually labeled F panel. Sometimes it is called JFP1 or front panel header. The names change, the pane stays the same. This is one of the most common reasons a new PC appears dead. Everything inside may be connected correctly, but the case power button is not talking to the motherboard. The fix is not guessing. Read the diagram printed on the motherboard. If it is too small, check the manual. Power switch pins usually do not care about positive or negative, but LEDs do. If an LED is plugged in backward, it simply will not light up. Flip the connector around, and it should work. Here is the useful clue. If the PC turns on when you short the power pins with a screwdriver, but not when you press the case button, the front panel cable is probably wrong. That does not mean your motherboard is dead. It means the smallest cables in the build are bullying you. USB 2.0 header. The USB 2.0 header powers older front USB ports. It is usually a 9-pin connector on the motherboard. The missing pin helps guide the cable orientation. You may still need USB 2.0 for front case ports. Some fan hubs, RGB controllers, and AIO coolers also use it. So even in a modern build, this cable still shows up. It is not fast by today's standards, but it is still useful for simple devices and internal controllers. If your front USB 2.0 ports do not work, this is one of the first cables to check. USB 3.0 or 3.2 header. USB 3.0 or 3.2 front panel cables are much larger. They often use a big blue 19 or 20 pin connector. This cable gives your case faster front USB ports. Useful, but easy to damage. The pins inside the motherboard header are thin. If you force the connector at the wrong angle, you can bend or break those pins. And broken pins are a real hardware problem. So line it up carefully, press straight down with steady pressure, do not rock it sideways. This cable does not reward aggression. It rewards patience. USB-C front header. USB-C front panel cables use a different motherboard header. It is smaller, flatter, and more modern than USB 3.0. This cable powers the USB-C port on the front of your case, but your motherboard must actually have the correct USB-C header. Not every board does, especially cheaper or older boards. If your case has front USB-C, but your motherboard lacks the header, that front USB-C port will simply do nothing. The port is not broken. It is just not connected to anything. A cable can only help if there is somewhere to plug it in. Front audio, or HD audio. Front audio powers the headphone and microphone jacks on your case. The cable is usually labeled HD audio. It plugs into an audio header near the bottom left of the motherboard. This one is easy to forget during a build. Then later, the front headphone jack does not work. The common mistake is confusing it with USB headers. But HD audio has its own dedicated place. Do not force it into a random header. Match the cable label to the motherboard label. That boring rule saves you from weird problems later. Still watching good? Because next is where people actually burn hardware. CPU fan, or pump header. The CPU fan header powers and controls your CPU cooler fan. On most motherboards, it is labeled CPU_fan. This header matters because the motherboard expects something there. If nothing is detected, the BIOS may show a CPU fan error. That warning exists for a good reason. A CPU without cooling can heat up extremely fast. If you use an air cooler, plug the main fan into CPU_fan. If you use an AIO, follow the cooler manual carefully. Some pumps use AIO_pump or pump_fan instead. Some still need a fan signal on CPU_fan. This is not the cable to guess. The cooler may look installed, but the system still needs to know it is actually running. Case fan, 3-pin DC versus 4-pin PWM. Case fan cables power the fans around your case. They usually plug into SYS_fan or CHA_fan headers. A 3-pin fan is usually controlled by voltage. A 4-pin fan uses PWM control. PWM gives smoother fan speed control. A 3-pin fan can often plug into a 4-pin header. It will still run. A 4-pin fan can also work on some 3-pin headers. But you may lose proper PWM control. Not broken, just less flexible. The basic rule is simple. Fans need power, control, and the right header. Cable neatness comes after airflow actually works. RGB 12 volts versus ARGB 5 volts. Now we reach the lighting cable that can kill LEDs. RGB and ARGB are not the same thing. Regular RGB usually uses a 4-pin 12-volt connector. It changes all connected LEDs to the same color at once. ARGB usually uses a 3-pin 5-volt connector. It can control individual LEDs separately. That is how you get moving effects. The visual difference matters. RGB has 4 pins. ARGB has 3 pins, with one missing position. The voltage difference matters even more. 12 volts RGB, 5 volt ARGB. Mixing them is where people damage hardware. Sending 12 volts into a 5 volt ARGB device can burn out the LEDs fast. So do not force the connector because it looks close. Count the pins. Read the motherboard label. Look for 12 volts, 5 volts, RGB, ARGB, D_LED, or ADD_header. Also, check the arrow marking on the connector. That usually lines up with pin number 1 or the voltage pin. A fan cable in the wrong header may behave weirdly. An RGB cable in the wrong header can permanently kill the lights. Lighting is optional. Not frying the LEDs is not optional. External cable montage. Now for the cables outside the PC. These are easier to recognize, but still easy to misunderstand. HDMI and DisplayPort both carry video. For gaming monitors, DisplayPort is usually the safer first choice, especially for high refresh rates. HDMI can also be excellent, but the version matters. A weak cable or older port can limit resolution, refresh rate, or features. So do not assume every HDMI cable performs the same. DVI and VGA are older display cables. DVI is digital, VGA is analog. You may still see them on old monitors or office PCs, but for modern gaming builds, they're mostly outdated. Then there is the power cable. The big black cable from the wall to the PSU is usually an IECC13 cable. People sometimes call it the kettle lead. It brings AC power into the power supply. And yes, the PSU switch matters. If everything is connected, but nothing turns on, check whether the PSU switch is on. People forget that more often than they admit. USB-A and USB-C handle external devices, keyboards, mice, webcams, drives, controllers, and accessories. USB-A is the older rectangular connector. USB-C is smaller, reversible, and more common on newer devices, but the shape does not tell the whole story. A USB-C port can be fast or slow. It can support charging, display, data, or only some of those. So when something does not work as expected, the cable may not be broken, the port may simply not support that feature. That is the hidden rule of PC cables. The connector tells you where it goes, the standard tells you what it can actually do. So that is every major cable in a PC. At first, it looks like a mess. Power cables, data cables, fan cables, tiny front panel cables, and then RGB shows up to punish your confidence. But the trick is not memorizing everything at once. The trick is knowing what each cable does. Some deliver power, some carry data, some connect buttons and ports, some control cooling, and some just make the PC glow. Once you separate them by purpose, the inside stops looking random. The real danger is assuming similar-looking cables are interchangeable. They are not. EPS and PCIe are different. SATA power and SATA data are different. RGB and ARGB are very different. So read the labels, check the manual, match the pins, and never force a cable just because it almost fits. In PC building, almost fits is usually the warning sign. A clean build is nice. A working build is better. And a working build starts with every cable going exactly where it belongs.